Hi folks, this is Karim Rao from our IT Visualizer channel. We will continue our lab, the Terminator lab. This is the video number 9. We have been discussing in the previous video the following. We have been working on automating a lot of things in our lab. We have automated the creation of virtual machines. We have automated the creation of Active Directory services, the Active Directory objects, the DHCP, and the last video we have automated the deployment of the file server. We have automated deployment of the file server and creation of folders, okay, and share them and then set different permissions, share permissions and security permissions or NTFS permissions, and then automating the creation of Active Directory home folders on the file server as well, and also giving different permissions on this Active Directory home folders for different users, and automating also the creation of file server quotas or automating of setting different hard disk quotas on different shared folders and making file screening rules on these shared folders. For example, not to put audio or video files on the shared folders. All of this was done by only one script. So this script, it is a mega script that automate the creation of or setting and configuring the file server role feature, and then a creation of folders and sharing them, different folders with different share permissions and NTFS permissions and Active Directory home folders, and setting quotas on the shared folders and making some rules to block certain certain files to be put on these shared folders. So all of this was done in the previous video. Today we will have or discuss another issue or another topic to automate the deployment of the deployment of WSUS server or WSUS role. WSUS, it is the abbreviation of Windows Server Update Service. So today we will discuss a mega script that will install WSUS server role feature and configure it and create different groups in this WSUS feature. For example, we can, as we know that in WSUS you can group computers in WSUS according to their function. For example, you can group servers in one group and you can group workstations in one group, and after grouping them you can apply certain updates to these groups. Okay, so we our script will install WSUS server feature and it will configure it and it will create groups in WSUS and it will accept or approve some updates to be installed for certain PCs, and it will make something called default approve role. So we will tell the WSUS to automatically approve, for example, different kinds of updates like security updates and critical updates. All of this will be done using one script and other things I will discuss today. So we will see this mega script and what it will do, and let's have a quick refreshment about what is our lab. Here in our lab we have done already the primary domain controller, and this is the IP address of it. It's 192.168.1.6. This is our primary domain controller, SKNHQ-DC0112. This is the first server, and it is only, or it is a feature or role, it is a primary domain controller. And then we have created a second virtual machine which will act as an additional domain controller. A DHCP, we have already installed this feature previously, and file server, we have installed also this feature previously. Today we will install the last feature, which is WSUS, and this is the IP address 192.168.1.7. All of this lab, it is automated by Packer HashiCorp. So Packer HashiCorp, it is a program that will automate the creation of the virtual machines in VirtualBox 7, and it will also automate the installation of Windows and different or small programs that are automated during the creation of the virtual machine. We have discussed this before in our previous videos. We have now 8 videos. Please refer to them. Today we will begin our 9th video. Let's see the script, or let's see what the script will talk about. Here, this is the script. very simple. The first line, it will install Windows feature, which is the Windows Update service. Okay, it will install the feature and it will include the console that through it we can configure and see the features of the WSUS. Here, I have already query Google or Google Bard AI and tell him to analyze this script and give me some description about what it will do. So we can see here, for example, that the first line he's saying that this line will install the WSUS role and required features. This is exactly what we are doing. And then the second line, configure WSUS post installation. Create here. What is the post installation? He is saying here that post installation or WSUS post installation includes creating a directory for WSUS. This folder, in it, the WSUS will save the Windows updates. So he will go and communicate with Microsoft website to get the latest updates, and it will save it to the WSUS folder. And this will not only include the downloaded Windows updates, but it will include the database of the WSUS. Okay, so what is post or what is a WSUS post installation? This includes creating the WSUS folder. As we can see here, the first line, it will uh, uh, launch a utility. This utility will configure the WSUS and it will create a folder in the D partition called WSUS. In it, we will save the updates. Okay, here he is saying, or Google Bard saying that this post installation will include creating a directory for WSUS, synchronizing WSUS with Windows updates or with Microsoft updates. So it will go and communicate with Microsoft website to get the latest updates. Okay, and configuring different WSUS settings. So let's see here. He is talking about from line 6 to line 15. This is number 2. Here we can analyze it. First of all, the first line, it will create a folder named WSUS, and then the second line, it will launch WSUS utility, which is responsible for configuring the WSUS or the different WSUS setting. Okay, and then it will begin doing a couple of things. First of all, it will go and tell him to sync or to get the Windows updates from Microsoft website. Okay, there is couple of options. You can tell him to get updates from another WSUS server. Okay, so this will be a replica, so it can get updates from Microsoft website directly, or it will can get it from another WSUS server, or it can also get the updates from Microsoft website, but through a proxy server. Anyway, here I'm telling him not to get it from a proxy server. I'm telling him only to get updates from Microsoft, from MU. Okay, and this all of these lines until line number 15, we are telling him to go to the Microsoft website and get the updates. Okay, and then there is a couple of lines, line 17 and line 18. We are telling him, after communicating with the Microsoft website to get the latest updates, I am telling him also to get the latest category updates. So for examples, you can get updates, for example, for Windows 11, but maybe there is another new Windows operating system is created or it is already published, so he will get the category updates for this new Windows operating system. Anyway, so all of these are related to some WSUS configuration setting. All of them are related to syncing and getting the Microsoft latest updates. So until this line or until line 20, all of these lines are related to WSUS configuration. First of all, creating the folder that WSUS will be installed in, or the database and the updates are stored in. All of these are, and then after that he will begin syncing with Microsoft website. So until line 20, all of these are related to WSUS configuration and syncing of the updates. Okay, so these are all done, and we don't need to discuss it further. Okay, then from line 25 until, let me show you all, from line 25 until, let's go further, from line 25 until this line, here I'm telling him to get some updates for some Microsoft products. So here I'm telling him to get updates for Report Viewer, 2005, Report Viewer 2008, Report Viewer 2010, Microsoft Edge, Office 2016, Windows 10, Windows 11, PowerShell, Windows 10, Windows Defender, Windows Admin Center, Windows Server 2012 R2. So all of these are Microsoft products. I need their updates, okay, to be downloaded from the Microsoft website and push it to my clients in the domain. Okay, so this is until line 44. Here we can see that line 3 he's saying, or this get only updates, he's saying that get only updates and classifications. This includes disabling updates, so some updates will not be downloaded and some updates will be downloaded. So he's disabling. So what I'm telling him only to concentrate on these Microsoft products to get their updates and ignore anything else, okay, or ignore any other products. So this is what Google Brad's saying in line number 3. Okay, so we can go further and then see this line 46 until line 52. Here he's saying that what he's saying here, we need to have I said before, we need to tell the WSUS to get certain Microsoft product updates. These updates are classified from different perspectives. For example, you can classify updates according to the product name. For example, maybe Microsoft Edge, Office 2016, Windows Server, and you can classify updates according to its sensitivity or its severity. For example, updates are classified to critical updates, definition updates, security updates. So every one of these products have 3 kinds of updates. So for example, PowerShell 64, it have some updates or critical updates, definition updates, security updates. So we can uh, we can classify products or classify updates of products according to their name or according to their severity. So here this line I'm telling him to accept or to download critical updates, definition updates, security updates for all of these products. Okay, so this is line number what? Let's see, this is line number I think line number 4. This is still in line number 3. So from line 25 until line 52, Google Brad is saying that get only updates and classifications. Okay, so this is a classification of update. This includes disabling updates and classifications that are not needed, and then enabling updates and classifications that are needed. So basically, this until line number 3. So let's see after that what are the other lines. If we go further, here he's creating groups. So here I am creating in the WSUS line number 4, create WSUS target groups. This includes creating target groups for servers, workstations, and test computers. So here I'm telling him to create groups of computers or to group WSUS or to group computers in WSUS according to their function. For example, I will group servers in one group, I will group workstations in one group, I will group some test servers and workstations in one group. What is the test group here? Test group, it will be a bunch or a couple of servers and workstations, or especially workstations, that I will test the updates of Microsoft on it before publishing it to all of the other workstations and servers. So here we will create these 3 groups, and this group I will include in it some workstations that I will test Windows updates on them. Okay, so these are the groups, and this is line number 4. We will create WSUS target groups. This includes creating target groups for servers, workstations, and computers. So this is line number 56 until line 59. And then there is something called configuring automatic approval rules. So all of the updates, for example, if you download updates for these different products and these different classifications, you need to approve them before the WSUS push them to the clients to be installed. So you need to approve them. Okay, this is a very good feature because sometimes some Windows updates can do some damage. So you can control what updates that will be pushed to the clients or servers. So here is saying configure default automatic approval rule. So here I'm telling him to approve certain updates automatically. You don't need my manual approve. So what I'm doing here, I'm telling him here that you should automatically approve critical updates, definition updates, security updates for all products and push them or install them on the work or on the group of test. Okay, so here I'm telling him approve critical updates, definition updates, security updates for all of these products and push them or install them on the computer group called test. Okay, as I've told you before, I need to test the updates before pushing them to the other clients. Okay, so this is what we are telling him with configuring default automatic approval rule. So from line 63 to line 60 or 76, this is approving or configuring default automatic approval rule. Let's go to line 77, fix WSUS AP pool stopping constantly. So this is a feature in WSUS. I will discuss it now, but let's see first what does it say. Fixing WSUS app pool stopping constantly. This includes increasing the private memory limit for the WSUS app pool and setting the periodic restart time for WSUS app pool. So app pool, this is a feature that takes or it is to work properly, you should give it a certain amount of your memory or from your RAM. So this is a feature. If it is working properly, your WSUS will be working properly. Every clients or every server can communicate with WSUS and download the updates. If it is not working properly, it will do or there will be some problems. Okay, this feature depends on your memory or the memory that you are allocating it to it. So for example, if you have, for example, 6 gigabyte memory on your server, you should at least give it 2 gigabyte to the WSUS app pool. We will see what is a WSUS app pool. I have already also asked Google Brad what is WSUS app pool. So let's go and see what he is talking about or what is WSUS app pool. So before, okay, let's go to WSUS app pool. So what is WSUS app pool? Okay, WSUS app pool, it is the IIS application pool that hosts Windows Server update services. So this is basically a feature. You know that WSUS, how clients communicate with the WSUS to get the updates, it's like communicating with a website. Okay, so clients go to the WSUS website and tell him to or tell the WSUS website I need certain updates. Okay, so this is WSUS app pool. It is IIS or Internet Information Service, I think. And I don't know IIS. I remember IIS is something related to the website that hosts Windows Server update service. It is responsible for handling all requests. So this is the function of WSUS app pool. It is responsible for handling all requests that are made to the WSUS web interface or the website, as well as the processing of the updates. So this is what we mean by WSUS pool. WSUS pool is a critical component of WSUS, and if it stops working, it can prevent users from accessing the WSUS web interface or installing the updates. There are a number of reasons why WSUS pool might stop working. So this is one or some reasons why WSUS app pool can stop working. For example, one of the things I have seen in my field of work, if the WSUS app pool is not working properly, some clients will not receive updates, and some clients will even communicate with the WSUS and then returns back saying that there is no updates, even though there are updates on the server or there are updates that are on the WSUS. So this is related to the WSUS pool. If your WSUS pool is not working properly, some clients will not get updates. And even one of the things also, if the WSUS pool is not working properly, the clients will not be able to communicate with WSUS server from the start. They will not be able to see it or you're able to communicate with it. Not getting updates from it, it will not see it at all. Okay, so you need to make sure that the WSUS app pool is working properly. He is saying some of the things that does not make the WSUS app pool work properly. Memory exhaustion. The WSUS pool can use a lot of memory, especially if there are a large number of updates to be processed. If the WSUS app pool runs out of memory, it will recycle, which means that it will stop working and then restart. So he's saying here that you need to give it some memory. configuration errors. The WSUS app pool is not configured correctly. It can stop working. For example, if the memory limits for the WSUS app pool are too low, it can run out of memory and recycle. So again, you need to allocate the right amount of memory to this service. Software conflicts. The WSUS pool can conflict with other software that is running on the same server. For example, if the WSUS app pool is configured to use the same memory as another application, can cause the application to stop working. So you need to make sure that the server hosting the WSUS have enough memory, especially if this server is not only hosting WSUS, hosting other features. So he's saying here, if WSUS app pool stops working, there are a few things you can do to troubleshoot the problem. Check the memory usage of WSUS app pool. You can use the Windows Task Manager to check the memory usage. I have done this before in one of my troubleshooting methods. Usage of WSUS app pool. If the WSUS app pool is using a lot of memory, you need to increase the memory limits for the WSUS app pool. Okay, uh, we will see that there is these lines in the script will increase the WSUS app pool. It will give it 2 gigabyte of RAM. And what is the right amount of RAM? We will discuss it now. Okay, so check the configuration WSUS app pool. You can use the IIS manager to check the configuration WSUS app pool. Make sure that the memory limits for WSUS app pool is not too low. Okay, check for software conflicts. You can use the Windows Event Viewer to check for software conflicts. If you see any errors that are related to WSUS app pool, you may need to uninstall software that are causing the conflict. Okay, so if you're unable to troubleshoot the problem with WSUS app pool, you may need to contact the Microsoft support for assistance. This is the last resort. Anyway, the default private memory limit for WSUS app pool is 184.32. This is, I think, 1 and 1.8 gigabyte of RAM. Okay, here this depends. He say, however, this might not be enough for larger WSUS servers. If you are experiencing WSUS app pool recycling or frequent or some stopping or some problems with WSUS, you need to increase the WSUS app pool memory limit. Okay, the best way to determine how much to increase the private memory limits to monitor the WSUS app pool memory usage. So we will monitor the use of the WSUS to our memory, or especially the WSUS app pool to our memory, and we can make an average or see in the peak hours how much the WSUS app pool will use from the memory, and then we can set it a little bit more. Okay, so you can see once you determine how much memory the WSUS pool is using, you can increase the private memory limit by using the following command. So he's telling you the command that you can set to increase the private memory, and this also is done in the script. So here is this, the I think a Russian guy wrote this script. So he's saying here, or we are telling him here, to set the private memory to 2 gigabyte of RAM. Okay, and to make this memory, or to recycle this memory after 4 hours, or to restart the service after 4 hours. Okay, I think this is time span for we will see how Google Brad is telling it. And then, so time span for hours, and then periodic restart value time, and then I will see that now. But anyway, so here, for example, you need to increase the private memory to 2 gigabytes. This is the line. It's important to know that increasing the private memory limit may not solve all WSUS app pool recycling problems. If you are still experiencing app pool recycling after increasing the private memory limit, we need to troubleshoot potential cause. Okay, here are some best practices. Set the private memory limit to a value that are large enough. Okay, we have seen this. Disable automatic recycling. This is not recommended. I don't think this is a good practice. Set the idle time after WSUS app pool to a value that is long enough to allow WSUS to complete a task. So there is a timeout. Okay, so a timeout time, I think this is a good one to see when the WSUS will say it failed to do the task after a certain amount of time. Set the ping timeout. Anyway, I think this is not the ping time. It is not a good practice also. Okay, by the following, we ensure the WSUS pool is configured properly. Okay, a low WSUS pool, he is saying here that WSUS can lead to or a low WSUS app pool can lead to performance issues, inability to sync updates, app recycling. Okay, so performance issues that the For example, slowness in approving updates, slowness in installing updates on client computer. This is performance issues if the app pool is low. Okay. Inability to sync updates can prevent WSUS server from syncing updates from Microsoft updates if the app pool is low. App recycling. A low app can cause the WSUS app pool to recycle unexpectedly. Anyway, so the same, he's repeating himself. Okay, so this is also another thing. Okay, he's saying the same. So let's see what Google Brad have to say about this line. Okay, we go further again. We will go and see what Google Brad is saying about this line. Okay, so saying here, fix WSOS stopping constantly. This includes increasing the private memory limit for WSOS app pool and setting the periodic restart time for the WSOS app pool. So there is a time that the WSUS app pool will restart. This time that the app pool service will restart when its memory or its private memory is full. Okay, so if all of the memory allocated WSUS is full, he need to restart to recycle or to begin using the memory from the start. Okay, or recycling the memory. Okay, it is full completely. He need to unfill it and begin working again. Okay, so this is the restart time. Okay, so this is it, or this is the couple of lines that this script is saying. We are restarting the service after a couple. So for example, if after changing the private memory value, you need to restart the service, okay, to take effect. Then the couple of lines here, or this until this line here, we are installing something called report viewer 2008. This is very critical, so you can see reports in the WSOS. Okay, if you try to create reports on WSOS, we will not see it because the report viewer 2008 is not installed. Okay, I think this is related only to Windows Server 2012 R2. If it is 2016, I think this will not be the case. Anyway, so he's saying here that enable reports. This includes installing the Microsoft Report Viewer Distribution 2008 and importing the WSOS servers and WSOS policy and default domain policies. So until this line, or from this line to this line, we will install the Report Viewer 2008 until this line, from line 89 to line 96. All of these to install or to download Report Viewer 2008 and install it so you can see reports in the WSOS. Okay, and then these couple of lines, or from this line 97 to 98 or 99, I'm telling him to import some group policies. These group policies will tell the clients the WSOS IP and name. So these, or the WSOS servers group policy and the WSOS workstations policy and the default domain policy, all of these group policies, we will import them from a backup folder. Okay, these group policies will tell the clients and servers what is the WSOS server name and IP, so they can communicate with it and download their updates. Okay, so this is line till line 99. We can go after that from line 101 to line 104. This I am telling the WSOS to begin syncing or to begin getting the updates. So there is something called initial syncing. This is the beginning. It will begin getting initial, or begin to get the categories or the name of the updates of different products, and then this line it will begin uh, physically downloading the updates. So here we can say that start syncing, it will begin syncing again with Microsoft website to get the updates. Okay, so this includes synchronizing WSOS with Microsoft updates. This is line number 101 to line 105. And then we can see that at the end, we will test the updates. So this is, we can see here that this is basically what is the script will do. It will do a lot of things. It will create groups in WSOS. It will approve certain updates in WSOS. It will do a lot of things actually. But let me see if we can have any other thing we can discuss. Okay. So here, one of the things I forgot to do when I am, or this script forgot to do, is to set the time that the WSUS will sync with Microsoft website. This can be done manually and this can be done automatically. So for example, I need here to add a line in the script to make it automatically sync with Microsoft website at 12 a.m. So this is the line. If we go further, or let me show you the line so we can add this line to the script, telling him to set WSUS server synchronization minus sync from MU. This will be the command to start syncing at start hour 0 and minute 0. This means at 12 a.m. Okay, so here this is, we can add it to the script. Here this is Google Broad is saying here, he's discussing what he will do. For example, this will configure WSUS to automatically sync updates at 12 a.m. And then he will begin discussing the different commands. Set WSUS server syncing sets the synchronization setting for WSUS server. Minus sync from MU specifies the server. WSUS server should sync from Microsoft updates. Schedule specifies the schedule for the sync. In this case, the sync will start at 12. Start hour specifies the hour that the sync will start. Start minute specifies the minute that the sync will start. So this is another thing we need to focus on. Let me see other. This is all from Google Broad. So these are all things I have got it from Google Broad. Let me see. I think maybe we don't need other things here. Let's see. Okay. So here, for example, the recommended WSUS app pool size depends on the number of clients that will be accessing WSUS server. For a small number of clients, a private memory of 1 gigabyte should be sufficient. For large number of clients, a private memory limit of 2 gigabyte may be required. Here are some factors to consider when determining the recommended WSUS app pool size. Number of clients. The number of clients will be accessing the WSUS server is the most important factor in determining the recommended WSUS app pool size. For a small number of clients, private memory will be 1. Okay, for a number of clients, it can be 2. I recommend it to be 2. I think I have already done this in my field of work. 2, and if you have a large memory, you can set it to 3. Types of updates. The types of updates that will be deployed to clients can also affect the WSUS app pool size. For example, for deploying large updates, such as service packs, you may require a larger WSUS app pool than deploying smaller updates, for example, like security patches. Hardware specification. The hardware specification of WSUS can also affect the recommended WSUS app pool. For example, a WSUS server with more RAM can support a larger WSUS app pool than a WSUS server with less RAM. It is important to monitor the WSUS app pool memory usage to ensure that it does not exceed the recommended size. Okay, this can be done using the performance monitor. So he's saying here, if WSUS memory usage exceeds the recommended size, how we can do this, or how we can monitor the WSUS app pool memory usage by using the performance monitor. Here is saying that you need to open the performance monitor in the control panel, expand the memory category, expand the process subcategory, right click private bytes and select add counter to chart. Select WSUS app pool from the list of available counters. So this is a way that you can configure performance monitor to monitor the WSUS app pool usage of memory and see if it exceeds the limit, or to monitor it for a certain amount of time to predict how much RAM the WSUS app pool need in future intervals. Okay, so WSUS app pool memory will be displayed in the performance monitor chart. If WSUS memory usage is constantly high, it may be necessary to increase the private memory limit. Okay, so this is how you can change the WSUS app pool memory. We have done this using a script. You can do this from the IIS or from graphical interface. IIS manager, expand application pool, right click WSUS app pool, and then advanced setting. Okay, anyway, so we have seen this before. WSUS app pool can lead, or low WSUS app pool can lead to clients not receiving updates. Okay, saying that there are no updates, so it can lead to clients not receiving updates, or there is no new updates. The WSUS pool is responsible for serving updates to clients. So if it is low on memory, it may not be able to handle the load of requests from clients. This can result in clients may not be able to download updates or receiving errors when trying to do so. So here is some symptoms of low WSUS app pool slow performance, we have said this before. Errors displayed in WSUS event log. Clients not receiving updates. If you are experiencing this, how you can increase it from the IIS manager. We have seen this before. Okay, so this is a couple of things as we can see here, all are related to WSUS app pool. WSUS app pool is very, very critical for a stable performance of WSUS server. Okay, we can see all of these are related to the WSUS server. So this is basically the script. Here I'm discussing it theoretically. The upcoming video we will see how this practically will work. We will see how this script will work, what are the errors that you have encountered, and a lot of things. Hope this video is informative for you all, and thank you all for viewing. Thank you so much.